Hi there, Serial Trader here. I got a request to do some crypto updates, so I think I'll just do a dedicated video here just for Bitcoin, and then maybe tomorrow I'll do a video on some other things, and maybe also some comparisons against Bitcoin in that video. But just so I don't make a single video too long, because it seems like a lot of people just don't have the attention span to watch a lengthy video, and that's fine. So we'll just do Bitcoin. So Bitcoin from the March low, obviously we've had a very impulsive move up. We've recently breached well over 16,000 there. So that's quite good for longer term bulls. Now there are a lot of ways to count this move off the bottom. So it's not like there's a real clear count that I can give that I'm really high confidence in. But this is what I'm kind of leaning on as my best take, and that's where we have initial 1, 2, and then we have a 1, 2, 3, big triangle 4, 5 for that larger 3, and then another triangle, although a bit of an ugly one, but it works, A, B, C, D, E for the 4, and then we've had this big thrust up in the 5. Now, may not be done here, although I think it could be, and there's some divergences starting to creep in, so you see we've made higher highs in price, but now making lower highs on daily RSI in the overbought condition. So we got nice and overbought, stayed overbought, but now we're diverging there. So that's something. And also on the going to the weekly chart here of Bitcoin, I'll switch back to the daily momentarily, but weekly we're nice and overbought on that weekly RSI, almost at 80 there on the weekly RSI. Now if I just zoom out on the weekly, okay, so the last time we got nice and overbought on weekly RSI, what happened? Well, we had a massive correction. I think it was like a 70% correction or something of that magnitude. Let's see. I'll get the price range tool here. So from this top to that March bottom, okay, so it was almost 71% from the high to low that we pulled back. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean we have to do that again just because we're overbought on the weekly RSI, but it does mean that a fairly large degree correction is likely going to be produced by this condition. Okay, so what I've done is a fib retracement just from the March low to the most recent high. Again, not that clear that the high is in yet, but it could be. And just a fib retracement of that. So if we did a 38.2% retrace, which would be quite mild, we'd still get to under 12,000. And if we did a 50% retrace, which would actually line up nicely with this previous corrective move, that would get us down to 10,240, so over 10,000. And of course, if we did deeper retracements, you'd be starting to get into the 8,000 range. Not necessarily going to happen, but just to be aware, these are some levels to look for if we do start this larger degree correction, which I'm kind of thinking might be warranted to be at least on guard for here. Now, longer term, obviously this is very bullish. Once we have whatever kind of pullback we're going to have, it's going to go higher. And at that point, I think we're on the run to well over the all-time highs. And you can see where I think we are in the overall, like, really long-term wave count. I've done some previous videos, and those are still valid. There's no need to make any updates on those. But looking here at the somewhat shorter term, I mean, we're still talking multiple weeks and months here, but somewhat shorter term, I think it's potentially vulnerable to a good sized correction, and that's normal. I mean, Bitcoin doesn't go straight up. Even along this move, we've had big corrections along the way, right? And I think that'll just continue. It's not just going to be a one-way market. Okay, now back to that daily chart, and I mean, yeah, again, this wave count is difficult. And there are other valid counts you can have that are way more bullish than this, and wouldn't call for any kind of major correction anytime soon. But when I find that the wave counts, are a little bit unclear, there's some ambiguity there. You can't really have a really high confidence count. I kind of lean on some other technicals like indicators and oscillators. And when I start seeing divergences on the daily and overbought on the weekly, along with potentially terminating impulse wave count here, that gets me on guard for a pullback. So if you're long and you're holding long term for I don't know, a multi-year time frame, you got nothing to worry about. This is looking real bullish. But if you're looking for a trade, buying up here, yeah, I wouldn't say that looks very attractive to me. Now, if we go in, say the 4 hour, I mean, we're starting to put in little lower highs and lower lows. So a little downtrend starting there. So it never looks very threatening at first, but then, you can start tanking, and then all of a sudden you're in that bigger correction before you know it. So we'll see. But that's kind of my take on Bitcoin here. Again, not a high confidence pattern off the bottom, other than the, oh yeah, obviously it's bullish. But I think there's some cause for concern here, at least in the shorter term time frame, that we could get a pretty good sized correction, and it may have already started here. Okay, probably do another crypto video tomorrow on some other stuff, Ethereum, XRP. I'd like to do the Ethereum BTC chart to show that what looks like Ethereum outperformance is probably going to come, at least Ethereum versus BTC. All right, that's good for now. Serial Trader signing off.